Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's July 6th. We are live right now. And I was going to pull this open to prove it to you. Here we go. July, turn it the other way, 6th. I was listening to a podcast last night called How I Built This by Guy Raz, which is all about entrepreneurs and how they built their businesses. And I was listening to the one my wife recommended to me on Lush Cosmetics. She's all into this company called Lux, or sorry, not Lux, Lush. And so anyway, that just reminded me of that. Hope you're doing well. If you're new, we go live every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And we call this show Wake Up Legendary. We put it on our Facebook page. A couple hundred people join us live. And then, we get a lot more people who watch or listen afterwards via podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple. All you got to do is search Wake Up Legendary. You'll find us. It's the first thing that pops up. If you want a text message reminder every time we go live, we send out just a short little text, gives a little bit of a feature about what we're talking about, who our guest is for the day. You can text the letters WUL, it stands for Wake Up Legendary, to 813-296-8553. And you just get a short little text message every single time that we hit go live. We don't try to sell you on anything. We don't do any sort of like marketing through this text message, although we could. We're trying not to annoy you. So it's just a little ping that just says, hey, we're here. Don't forget, join us live. And as always, I'm going to put this up on our screen as well. This is probably going to cover up my face because it's so long, but there we go. We as a company will never message you on Facebook or WhatsApp or anything like that, asking you to wire us some money or pay us for some cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme or anything like that. So if you do get messages or somebody says something like, hey, I work with Legendary Marketer, you'd be surprised at the things that people say. Just ignore them, report them, block them, ban them, do whatever you got to do. So today we've got an awesome guest as always, but today I'm really excited to talk with a guy named Todd, all the way from Vegas. We're both on the West Coast-ish, not quite on the coast, but on the west side. And if you all can give us a little hand clap emoji just to welcome in, give us some hand claps, maybe some fist bump from Barry to welcome in Todd to the show.
Oh, thanks, Matt. And that wake up part of the show is, wow, that's for real. I am still
I know.
working my way into the land of the living right now.
Yes, I know. Are you a morning person?
No, not by any stretch of the imagination. This was a special wake up for you guys this morning. Boy.
Yeah, when we started doing this show, I was like, oh, dude, so this means I'm gonna have to wake up at like 6:30 a.m. every morning. Okay, all right. But I worked in coffee back in the day, so I was kind of used to it and whatever. And we are twinning today as well.
Yes.
We didn't coordinate that beforehand, but we do have a little twinning action happening. So Todd, tell us a little bit about you and your journey. And you're in Vegas, and you've been doing entrepreneurial online things for you've been doing entrepreneurial things longer than I've been alive. So not to date you or anything.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
But tell us about how you became sort of entrepreneurial, and then tell us a little bit about your journey to going online. You've done things with Amazon and e-commerce. Just give us the lowdown.
Yeah, to your point, I started my very first business in 1983. And of course, there was no internet or anything like that, but there's a lot of parallels. For example, now we have email, but back then we used this thing called direct mail, where the post office would deliver mail instead of email. So there's a lot of parallels along the way. Things have changed, but basically have stayed the same. I sold that first business and decided I wanted to be a pilot for a living. So I spent a lot of money finishing my flying lessons and became a flight instructor. I did all of that, ended up flying under contract for the post office and UPS and FedEx, and absolutely hated it. And there were a few events there was a 190-day period, 3 months, where I had three major engine failures and almost died in one of them. And now I am making $28,000 a year flying in between thunderstorms and tornadoes and all at night. And they took something I loved and they beat the crap out of it. And so I
Mm,
made the decision. I said, I gotta go back and work for myself. I knew I didn't ever want to work for anybody ever again. I wanted to
yeah.
try to control my time. And so I started another business. It was
Mm,
actually by that point, it was 1988 when I started my second business.
mm,
And everything just kind of fell in place. A lot of people say, gosh, Todd, everything you touch turns to gold, which isn't true because there's a lot of work behind every one of those successes. But I've built and
yeah.
sold 12 different seven-figure businesses since 1983. I had one that did okay, and then I had an absolute complete nuclear disaster in 2002, February
Mm,
2002. So I basically lost everything in 2002. I'd probably
mm,
made $50 million up to that point, and it was all gone. The house was gone. Everything was gone. And I had
wow.
there was a very, very good chance that I was going to be headed to prison because I had run afoul of some federal rules and regulations in the industry I was in. It was mostly paperwork related, but there's like no sense of humor at the federal level.
Yeah.
So here I didn't really know what to do, and a friend suggested,
Wow.
well, why don't you try that eBay thing? I heard people are making money on eBay. So that was March 12th, 2002. And I just kind of walked around my house that I was about to lose, looking at all the junk I had laying around. And I said, what do I have to lose? So I started to sell the things I
Mm,
had uh, purchased in the past that I had no need for anymore. And the stuff sold really fast for more money than I thought. And I said, maybe this eBay thing has, it's got something to it, right?
yeah.
So I ended up buying a truckload, 26 pallets of customer returned goods from Sam's Club, just
Yeah.
on a whim, just thinking, okay, I just need more stuff to sell, which
Yeah.
presented a whole lot of other problems. Like, well, gosh, where am I
Sure.
going to put these 26 pallets? And
It's a
but
lot of it's a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
but I'm telling you, I had literally my motivation to move forward was that I had poured gasoline on the bridge behind me and threw a match over my shoulder, and there was like nowhere to go but forward. There was no plan
Mm,
B, nothing like that. I had one thing that I could do, and that was I was going to sell stuff on eBay. So the
wow.
first the first year we did $1.1 million in selling customer
Jeez.
returned goods, and I was like,
That's
okay,
hilarious.
this worked out because you're buying stuff at 10 cents on the dollar and selling it at
Mm,
50 to 80, just depending on what it is. And that business, that part of that business is still in existence now for 20 years.
mm,
One of the pillars of our business is customer returned goods because there's just too much of it out there. Nobody can buy it
yeah.
all. So
Yep.
inventory is never an issue. But my life kind of changed in 2009 when I discovered Amazon.
Mm,
Amazon was, just an amazing opportunity. It still is. Today it's a little different, but I
yeah.
went into Amazon and started selling brand new stuff. And I do what's called a wholesale part of Amazon. And I
Okay.
also do my own private label brand. So that's a
Yeah.
whole separate company in and of itself. But where we really, really were making the money was on the marketing side of things. We were
Mm,
selling, actually, we were in the AdSense program. I don't know if a lot of
mhm.
people know what AdSense is. I think they do, right?
Yeah,
And
you could give us a quick little 30-second here's what AdSense is.
yeah, if you have websites, right, that are specific to a niche specific topic, Google will pay you. They'll pay you for advertisements related to your site. They give you a
Mm,
little snippet of code. You put it on your website, and ads related to your site content will appear. Well, those advertisers are paying Google to advertise, right? And Google's
right.
splitting that with you to put the ads on your web properties. It's kind of a
Right.
pretty cool program if you think about it.
It's
Well, back
amazing.
in the day when we started it, which was 2004, we got into the Google AdSense. It was a lot easier. You can still make good money today, but I mean, we were
Yep.
doing six figures a month just starting back then. And
Right.
then, I think everybody's heard of these Google slaps. I think we might have got one of the very first ones, because I think someone at Google woke up and said, well, Snively doesn't need 2.5 million index pages, and boom, right across the face. And so that
Yep.
business, it went down and down and down until it hit kind of a stable level, and it's still viable,
Mm.
but really tough to do that kind of numbers that today. It's a lot like the
Yes.
Amazon Associates program too. We got into that with
Yeah.
Amazon because I like doing the websites, and all of the organic SEO it's just a lot of fun. It's a weird hobby of
Mm.
mine. And when you have that and can
I
put
like it.
the Amazon Associates program on there, which is an affiliate program,
Yep.
um, you can make good money doing that too. So it's just
Mm.
one opportunity after another. And I just started to build this, this digital I don't want to call it an empire, but you know what I'm saying. It was just all of these different businesses that were in alignment with each other, and they were all firing on all 8 cylinders. And then it was in 2014 when I got into coaching and started to write online programs and work with other people. And so now I'm
Mm.
turning 60 in what, 10 days. Okay. And you
Cool.
get really reflective. I don't know if everybody does this, but I mean, this 60 number is really bothering me. And I'm looking to kind
Mm.
of do, I don't know. I don't like the word retire, because I think I'll be, if I'm still around at 90, I'll be doing this kind of stuff. But
Yep.
I want to sell off some of my higher touch businesses and just deal more with the online things that you can do on the computer. And
Sure.
so I ran across Legendary actually maybe a year ago, and I was
Mm.
like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I said to myself, I wanted to pick a couple of really nice programs that were run by good, ethical people that were doing it what I call it the right way. Because there's just
Mm.
too many scumbags out there doing it the wrong way, taking advantage of
Sure.
people, and it just makes me ill. So I followed you guys for a good solid year just
Mm.
to kind of look at the program and see exactly what it was, and see if it was in alignment with my goals. And after a while, I decided it was. I initially had bought your 15
Mm.
second lead program, and
Sure.
I kind of looked at that, but it came with the 15-day business
Business
challenge.
challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, which really caught my attention. So as I was
Mm.
going through that, it's ticking all the boxes in my head. Yeah, people need to know this. Wow, yeah, people really need to do it this way. And wow, if people follow this, they're going to be successful. And what I
Mm.
really like is that I can do what I'm good at, which is the marketing and putting the leads at the top of the funnel. And I know they're going to be well taken care of by your
Mm.
organization, right? And
Mm.
so that was kind of my retirement project. I wanted to, help people find a good training program about affiliate marketing that would help them become affiliate marketers. Because I've done, matter of fact, the one thing I'm really super proud of is I was the number one affiliate for ClickBank on a product launch, and we did $11.1 million in 30 days on ClickBank.
Wow.
And
That's
ClickBank gave
so
me a
cool.
Tesla. They said, thanks, Todd. And boom, here's a
They
Tesla.
gave you a Tesla? That's awesome.
And
I love
so
that.
many things are possible, but you got to be
That's
careful.
cool. How long ago was that?
2017 was that launch.
Wow.
And a few
So
people
cool.
have beaten it since then. So I didn't expect it to be a record that would stand. But yeah, we did, I did
Wow.
53 live webinars in 30
Yep.
days and 11.1 million. So, and I'm never going to do that again, by the way.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, those launch days, man, they are fun and they are exciting, but man, you end that. I mean, I did like some back in 2012, I think, and you end that and it's like, I am never getting that's the exact words I think I
I'm
used.
serious
Just like,
though. I'm leaving
that
that
was
for the
cool,
young.
but never again.
There's still ways, you can have a really, really nice living online and
Yeah.
not kill yourself like that.
Right. Yeah,
But I love
100%.
finding these programs that are just high level like yours that just deliver so much of value that you can feel good about promoting them. And then when
And
people
you don't
get
have to do a bunch of extra work as the referring affiliate to sort of, "Oh my god, are these people being taken care of? Are they?" Yeah, that makes sense. Wow, that's quite an I mean, that's a cool accomplishment, especially like to do that with just the skills that you've learned in marketing and be able to pull that is really cool. I
I
remember
think
the days back in like 2010 and 11. That was the first course I made. I made this course called um, I think it was called the First Page Formula. And I had never made a course or sold a course. I made a checkout link on PayPal. Like I didn't even know. I don't know. I mean, even just the use of PayPal is hilarious. But um, yeah, and sold a bunch of it. I joint ventured with this guy who ran a plugin for WordPress, like an SEO plugin for WordPress called ABC 3000, and it was, I thought the best SEO plugin for getting backlinks and all of that stuff. And we sold a bunch of that thing, but I was just 21 or 22 years old and had really no clue what I was doing. But I was like, hey, I really figured it out. And you talked about the slap and yeah, all that slap stuff and panda and all of that was a wild time. But I feel like bigger than that, my takeaway from all of that was just it seems like you have such like opportunistic eyes. Like you're so good at seeing where opportunities are and always seeing. It's just funny to me because sometimes, when I'll do weekly webinars with our Blueprints members, and there'll be 100, 150, 200 people on live with us, and there's just such a wide range and wide variety of how people look at the opportunity. Like you're looking at an opportunity for Amazon, and you're like, "Wow, look at all of the opportunity." Even back then, but even still now, wow, look at all of this eBay opportunity. And a lot of times, people will hit hurdles and roadblocks, and they're sort of like, it's saturated. I don't know. I love seeing people who have been in the game for so long and they're just like, no, it's just you look any direction and it's opportunity. I love that so much.
I remember I was driving to the airport for one of my midnight departures for the post office, and on the AM radio show I was listening to, the guest said every person has no less than 6 ideas every year that they come up with in their head that if they listened to it and properly implemented them would make them a millionaire. And I remember saying
Mm,
to myself, wait a minute, I have 6 ideas every year that if properly implemented would make me a millionaire as I'm driving my 20-year-old car to the airport. And
wow.
so I started listening, and to your point, and seeing
Mm,
opportunities. And it became I don't think it was a bit of a curse, but it's hard to turn off. I'd be with my kids at some high school craft fair, and I'd be thinking, wow, we could systemize that candle making lady and do a joint venture with her and take over Etsy. And my kids were like, Dad, stop.
ah,
But
you're like, God,
it's yeah,
I can't stop.
I don't really
No,
believe in
but there's
saturation
also a
in big
difference.
purpose either.
Yeah. My other difference though is like, I think, I wonder if, I don't know if you ever had this, but there's also a big, big difference between the people who see with such opportunistic eyes and people who can actually do that and then execute, which I just think is another, big credit to you, which is just like you don't produce the results that you've produced without a level of execution and sticking it out and seeing through all of those initial hurdles. And you buy those 26 pallets and it's like I'm sure a lot of problems came throughout that purchase, throughout the shipping, throughout the delivery, throughout the, all of that stuff. Nothing ever works out like you think it will. And, but, you stick it out. And how many years later is this now? Like,
Oh, it's 40, almost 40 years.
yeah, that's ludicrous. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I
I,
had
I
a
just,
really good mentor, and he told me, he said, look, Todd, he goes, you're going to either be in a problem, you've just left a problem, or you're headed for a problem. And it's how you
ooh,
deal with all of that and the times in between that'll determine how successful and how happy you are in life. So
wow.
when you start looking at it, like I see people, they hit a little obstacle and that's it. It's like somebody just, shot them in the head or something, and they just want to lay
Mm,
down and do something else. And I'm like, no, that's just
mm,
an obstacle that you need to go around or over or under. Don't quit, and
mm.
that's why I think people get all this shiny object syndrome. If they just stick with one thing and see it
Yeah.
through all the obstacles, they're going to learn more, than you learn jumping around from one thing to another. Because to your
Mm,
point, it's really funny you mentioned that. I buy those 26 pallets, and the first thing my wife says is, "Where are you gonna put them?" I said, "Well, I think they'll fit in the garage." She goes, "Well, how big's a pallet?" I said, "Well, I have no idea." She goes, "Well, you better figure it out. They're coming in 3 days." So I go out and I measure, and sure as
Mm.
anything, I got 26 pallets. I'm gonna be able to fit like 8 of them in the
Yep,
garage.
yep.
So I had to go find some cheap warehouse space that day. So I come home and I say, I did it. I found some warehouse space. It's inexpensive. We'll be able to put the pallets in there. She goes, "Well, how are you going to unload the truck?" And I'm like, "Woman, stop giving me all these problems."
Stop,
But
stop.
that's what we
I'll
do.
figure it out when they show up.
We call it jumping off the cliff and building the plane on the way down. And I tell people all the
Mm,
time, I've never ever done anything perfect in my life, but I've gotten a lot of things done. You just have to
yeah.
execute and deal with the fallout as it happens.
Man, that's crazy. It is really crazy, and it's also kinda cool, I think, I don't know. Yeah, you said you're very reflective or whatever, and at least during this time, it's funny because my parents are about your age and thinking about retirement and stuff, and I know all of the skills that they have are sort of physical labor skills. Nothing against that. They're very successful. My mom's a successful entrepreneur, and but it is kinda cool. I always love seeing somebody who's 50s, 60s. Hell, we've had people who on this show who have been 82 years old, who have 700,000 followers on TikTok, which is just absurd, and are making money on the internet. That's incredible. I always just find it humorous or, just cool, I guess, that, there's a whole generation of people heading into something called retirement, but their skill set is totally different and it's transferable to any stage of life or any, like bodily ailments, like let's say I just physically can't lift, 300 pounds or well, 300 pounds is a lot. I can't lift 50 pounds or 75 pounds. It's just not possible in life anymore. Or my mom's a hairdresser. She probably won't be able to cut hair perfectly well. Like sometimes people get a little shakier when they get older or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I just find it so cool that people are building skills and have these skills that are online that you could do. Yeah, yeah, like you said, you could do that till you're 90. Like,
Hmm.
you can do that till the day you keel over and die, like that's what I
And
think is
it's
just
not
so
work.
powerful.
And it's not
Yeah,
work. This is
right,
why
right.
if you enjoy
It's
doing it.
intriguing and fun.
Warren Buffett's 92 and he still does his investing thing. So it's
Right.
there's a retirement I think's changed a lot over the last 10 or 20 years in the thought of what it is. I won't get into
Yep.
all the reasons why, but people now are thinking it's not what they were promised when they were growing up.
Mm,
And so they have to pivot and you have to be able to pivot. And resilience is the best trait I think you can have when you're going to try to do something on your own. And I think everybody should do something on their own. They shouldn't be reliant on anyone else, because things can change instantly. And if
yep.
you have the resilience and the ability to create a profit centers online, I mean, you are way ahead of the other guy who's just like looking at his nuclear disaster and going, "No, I don't know what to do."
Yep. Yeah,
And think
exactly. I was wondering, also, with the success that you've had, I was curious about, sort of your thought process of like purchasing more education. You purchased our education. I think, am I right that you bought our mastermind ticket as well?
Mhm.
And maybe I'll get to meet you. That would be so cool. In December, we'll be at a mastermind. We haven't finalized the dates, but probably the first week in December. Um, and I was just curious about sort of I just always find it cool. We've had a couple people who have done multiple six figures in our company with their affiliates with ClickFunnels, their affiliates with lots of different digital companies, digital education and stuff, and then still purchased and invested in our business blueprints and in our masterminds and even just buying, a $7 course or a $1 course or something. I was curious what your thoughts and philosophy is in sort of investing in education and why did you choose to do that?
I don't look at it as investing in an education as much as I do as investing in myself. And
Mm,
I learn something new all the time. And my budget for the self-improvement phase is probably higher than most people. I'm probably
Mm,
spending $80,000 a year on masterminds, other trainings, meetups, special events,
jeez.
because you get that another one idea. You can start a whole nother,
Mm,
business from it, or increase the revenue of your business. People talk about being a serial entrepreneur, and I don't really think they understand what that really means, because you can take one business and continually go with different verticals within that same industry and do real well. That's a serial entrepreneur. Normally, to do that, you have to acquire additional skill sets or knowledge that aren't in the vertical that you're in right now. So to
right.
pay to do that, that's just buying your way to the front of the line. That's just saving years of having to learn. Someone says, "Oh, you can learn everything you need to know on YouTube." Yes and no. It's a
Right.
completely disorganized mess, and if you don't know where to start in the first place, yeah, it might take you 10,000 hours of watching YouTube videos. What
Right.
YouTube is great for is if I'm working on a program like ScreenFlow and I want to know how to set up the record monitor. Well, I can go onto YouTube, put that in, and know within 2 minutes of how to do that. But as far as
Awesome.
actually conceptually learning how to start a 6 or 7 figure online business by just watching YouTube videos, I don't believe that. All right. I don't
Yeah.
think that. I think it's a little disingenuous. What you have to do is you have to find the right mentors that have accomplished what you want to accomplish, and then follow them. Do what they've done. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just get on the path that they've blazed for you. I haven't invented a single thing. Not well, I take that back. I had a patent on one some technology back in the day. But other than that, I've just reached out to people who have accomplished what I wanted to, and I pay them to learn what I can to
Mm,
accelerate my own progress. And that, if anyone said, what's the biggest secret to getting things done quicker? Well, that's it. It's investing in yourself by learning from others who've already done what you want to do, and getting rid of the negative, toxic people that are telling you you're stupid for giving that guy 10 grand for 2 hours of his time. Get rid of those people, do the learning.
yeah.
You're going to be fine. But yeah, you have to invest in yourself. If everyone thinks that they can just do it by themselves, or pull one book off the library, or read one article online, or watch some videos on YouTube, it's a little harder than that. So I think working
Yeah.
excuse me, working with the experts is the way to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that makes sense. I like that distinguishing between, I need to find one little edit on ScreenFlow or iMovie or something, and somebody's got it bookmarked in their YouTube video. Here's exactly where it is. You click, it's right there. That's gotten so amazing to solve little problems like that, but business model problems and actual setting something up like that, it requires a deeper level, a deep dive. It's also a massive education budget you have. I love that.
I like
And
learning new
you,
stuff.
yeah,
I made
I
my first TikTok
yeah,
because of you guys. I never would have thought
yeah,
I'm some 60-year-old old fart gonna do something on TikTok. Are you kidding me? And I've tried that, but I have a bit of an advantage over other people because oh, and here's something I would tell everybody to put in their mind right now is to start building their list. This
mm,
is probably one of the single biggest assets that I have is are the marketing lists that I've grown over the years, and
mm,
it's never too late. I don't care if you put get 2 people on your list. You got 2 people on your list. Get 10 people. It doesn't matter. Eventually, you're going to have a lot,
yep,
and it's my single biggest asset. And if you use that properly, you'll never have to spend a dollar on advertising. But along the way, you have to do that. You're going to have to invest in yourself. You're going to have to invest maybe into some advertising. You're going to invest hours into making the YouTube videos, I'm sorry, the TikTok videos, the YouTube shorts, the Instagram stuff, the Facebook reels. You're going to end up
yep,
doing all of that. And I tell people
yep,
all the time, if you don't have resources to buy your way to the front of the line with that kind of learning and tech and whatnot, you have to be willing to do things that you're not going to be willing to do when you do have the resources. Because
yep.
we have a saying right now is if my wallet can't get it done, it's not getting done most times. I'll pay somebody now to build a website, or I'll pay somebody
Right.
to make, some digital assets for me. Or back in the day, if I didn't have the funds, then I had to learn how to do it and do it myself. But
Yep.
for now, there's just so many ways, so many shortcuts that you can take, but it just takes resources.
Yeah. Takes resources, time, energy, money. And also, I don't know, I'm curious if you also think, a good mentor of mine once said, getting to six figures can happen a lot of times through grunt work and through just grinding and just basically snow plowing your way forward. And a lot of times beyond that, requires some relational capital. It requires some bigger resources, email lists, people that networks, things like that. Would you agree with that too? And how over the last like 40 years, how has that served you? And do you feel like you've sort of accumulated a network of people that you work with and resources, and you know where to go to get websites built and stuff?
Oh, without a doubt. And I was one of the nerdy techie guys that liked to see how those things worked. So I've
Me
built
too.
literally I was matter of fact, I was one of the first guys on WordPress in 2003. And I said, well, this is kind of cool. I think
Wow.
this is going to catch on. And here it is now, almost 20 years later. And WordPress is like the thing to make a
It's
website with.
perfect.
But it's a lot harder
Yeah.
to get to seven figures with a business than it is six figures. This is going to sound really crazy, but to start up like a business and take it to six figures, I'd almost rather start up another business and bring that to six figures. To take us a business from six figures to seven figures is a completely different blueprint.
Yeah.
And yeah, but to get to your question about the relational um, uh, side of things,
Yeah.
I was I was always very introverted. I'm still very introverted. I've gotten a lot more comfortable doing things like this,
Yeah.
but I don't make friends very easy at all. So it's just
Yeah.
because of a lot of things that have just happened in the past. When you get to a certain point, you're finding out people are just hanging around because of the airplane. I had my own airplane for a long time, and people just wanted
Mm.
to go play golf, get in the plane and go play golf somewhere. And it was hard to
Yeah.
get really, real good friends. I found out I just had a lot of people
Mm.
that were nobody you could call at 3 a.m. to get the dead hooker out of the house kind of friends. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah.
cross any lines there. But so I can count the number of really good people on one hand that I trust. Now, as far as the business contacts go, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
Uh and yeah, it's you'll find how small of a pond this kind of thing really is. And then the number of people that are really good at the certain things, they're pretty easy to find, and
Yeah.
especially as long as I've been like looking in those directions. Some of
Yeah.
those people are really easy to find, but it's like everybody thinks they're an expert now. There's a lot of 20-year-olds that think that they can be your life coach, and I'm like, what? Come on, really? Are you serious? So I do a lot better with the older people. No offense to
Yeah.
the younger people, but it's like the older people just seem to have a lot more of that life experience, and they're just lacking the business experience. And you know,
Mm.
uh, they'll buy like a blueprint, but they won't have any idea how DNS works, or where do I get a domain now? It blows my mind where everybody starts from is so different. And yet
Yeah.
I've seen people, and I don't judge people anymore. Well, I used to, but not anymore, because I would think, well, this guy can't tie his shoes in the morning, and he goes and starts a seven-figure business. It's like, okay, all right, anybody can do this now. They just have to have the right step-by-step plan and the ability to implement it and deal, and have the resiliency to deal with the little issues that everybody pretty much faces. Nobody goes from step one to step 10 and ends up with a six-figure business and didn't have to deal with something. There's always going to be something.
Yes. There's always gonna be, yeah, and I even found, because you talk a lot about the techie stuff, and I found that to as much as I was gifted in that and figured that out really quick, that turned into a big hurdle for me because I would spend hours and hours and hours messing with just a single line of HTML or CSS or something. And like, I would have mentors just be like, dude, I'm gonna slap you across the face. You need to stop. No one cares that you can't get the hex color right. Like, it's just not a big deal. Like, you got to get over it. And I use that as sort of a crutch of I could be building my business, but the truth is I was, jacking around in the
Well,
code of
I
the
can't
website.
I can't launch this yet because the aqua color isn't quite right. Well, that goes right back to I've never done anything perfect, you know? I'll launch
Right.
and then do A/B testing down the road on colors. But the other
Yeah.
thing too is that I think people that they'll bang their head against the wall for hours and hours and hours trying to overcome one of these tech obstacles when they literally can go on to Fiverr or Upwork.com
Oh,
and for very little money give that problem to somebody else, an expert, and then in minutes or hours or whatever, it's dealt with. And you're like, why didn't I do this sooner? So I have this rule now. If I
yeah.
get stuck on something, I just go right
Mm,
to Upwork or Fiverr and hire an expert and get it done and just move on. And I don't let those
yeah.
little things derail me for hours or a day or no
Days.
not launching something at all, you know?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And those
Yeah, we're
resources are
talking
available
like,
to everybody.
yeah, 10, $20, and it's like you can
Now,
have
this
a
is something that wasn't available to me back in the day,
no, no, no,
the
no.
80s, 90s. That wasn't like that. It was really hard, and,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. You know, those businesses
Yeah.
back in the '80s and the '90s, they have so much correlation to the things
Mm,
today. It's just the platforms have changed. I use the email and the direct mail thing. I did I used to talk from the stage. I went around because my very first course that I wrote was on how to make money with 900 telephone numbers. I don't even know if anybody knows what those are anymore, but
that's
that was my
amazing.
very first course that I would pitch from the stage because I had built a 900 number service bureau and I was getting a nickel for every minute of call volume that people were generating. So I wanted to teach people how to make these programs the right way to help me finance my service bureau. But eventually, I got tired of doing the city after city thing, and I
Mm.
videotaped. And I hope these words aren't going over people's heads because I know they belong in a museum. But I videotaped one of my presentations and put it on a VHS tape and uh, and sold it via classified ads in
Did
USA
you
Today.
really?
Yeah, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, and so
No.
we actually sold the
Oh
tape
my
with one
god.
of the 900 numbers. So you want to, make money with 900 telephone numbers. Call 1-900 blah blah blah. Cost of the call is $25, but you'll get this 2-hour informational videotape absolutely free. And then we had a sales force inside our offices that 10 days later would call that person up and say, "Did you get the video?" "Yeah." "Did you watch the video?" "No, I'm going to watch it tonight." "Well, okay, call you back tomorrow." So we had inside sales doing that. Now it is so much
Wow.
easier now to do this with the internet thing. You don't have to
Right.
use video tape and deliver it to the mail, right? And but that's a poor man's webinar back in the day.
Yes. Yes.
Nothing has changed, operate
Totally.
or conceptually. It's just
Right.
operational changes. It's so
Yeah,
much
just
easier now to do that than it
it
was
is, it
back in
is.
the day.
It is, but also if you think about it, back in the day on a VHS, I mean, that person doesn't have a cell phone that they're scrolling TikTok while they're watching your video. If
No, they
somebody
got a
pops
bowl
in
of
a
popcorn
VHS.
and a wife with them on the couch.
Yeah, they popped that thing in 1995. I mean, it's unlimited focus and attention, and that's a cool thing to it's a cool thing to have, the ability to send that out. We did, back in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. We took out USA Today ads too like a travel club or some. It was a like a network marketing thing, but we would take out USA Today ads, and they would call, and it was a pre-recorded voicemail. It said, if this are true, then leave your name and number at the end of the beep or whatever. And these people would be like, and leave all these details. These people would leave 2 or 3 minute voicemails, basically giving all of the reasons that they want to join a network marketing company or start their own business or whatever. And it's the exact same thing. It's like a questionnaire today on the internet. But, back in the day, it was just what medium can I get to generate a lead, and how can I
Mhm.
qualify them, and how can I close them? And now today it's just on the internet. There's more distraction, but also the degree to which you can get someone's attention is way faster. We have people go from 0 to 5,000, 10,000 followers on TikTok in a week or less. We had a girl on a couple weeks ago on the show who gained 70,000 followers in a week, just by having a couple videos get just absurd amount of views about, I don't even know what it was about. So yeah, you're right. The whole entire messaging, the lead generation. I'm younger, but I still came from the early internet days of like the automations and automated webinars and all that stuff didn't exist back when I got started online. And so I still get some of that old school. We still shipped out some CDs with a video on it, and it was an interesting day. But
One of my
I do.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
go
one of
ahead.
my favorite correlations is back in the day when especially when I had that first training program, I did over 400 AM radio interview shows, over
Wow.
400 AM radios. So now what do you do today? You do podcasts. I'm a guest on
Yeah.
podcasts. And I think
Mhm.
that's actually one of my favorite ways to spread the word on whatever my project du jour, is. You can get on podcasts and accomplish the same thing I was accomplishing on these AM radio shows back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's again the way to generate the leads. The only thing that's really changed is the function.
Yep.
I don't think I don't even know if people again if they're tracking when I say AM radio. They're like, "What's
I'm
that?"
tracking, but I didn't know there was 400 stations.
Oh,
I
no,
knew
not
AM was
stations,
like that.
shows. Just shows.
Shows.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I'll bet you there's
just
because
probably.
back then, AM radio was very localized. It was
Right.
difficult to get, like, on a national AM radio talk show. But, there was a lot of stations, and I think actually
Mm.
we probably, in our mailing to those radio stations, sent out close to 4,000, um
Wow.
big postcards. They were big, huge yellow jumbo postcards with the black printing on, would you like to have Todd Snively as your guest? Here's his accomplishment. Here's what he can talk about. And we just sent those out to the host of the radio shows, about 4,000 of them. And
Wow.
we ended up being on about 400 in the course of a year that we were promoting that program. And
That's
it was
amazing.
a lot of 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. shows. Let me tell you that.
That's so fun. So now, after having accomplished a lot in those different avenues, do you view sort of like an affiliate marketing thing, which you've already done a lot of? Are you just gonna keep building? Do you see that as expanding, or do you see that as a smaller piece of what you're doing, and you'll see how it grows, or what's the thought process behind that? Or is it just is this is the affiliate marketing piece a big part of your business currently? And do you see that as something that will grow, or we'll see?
It is a big piece of my business. And I do believe it's going to do nothing but grow. But
Mm,
when they grow, it also the problems are going to increase. And when I say problems, I'm just talking about bad
mm,
programs and bad people running bad programs. I mean, that's kind of the bane of anything online anymore. And it
yeah,
has really, in my opinion, it's really sullied affiliate marketing along, the many years that it's been around.
I
But it's
agree.
like nothing else. It's just like anything else. You just have to do it the right way, and then you're going to have longevity. Everybody that's out there trying to, game the system in some way or dealing with really, oh, thinly disguised medical things, like, right, I think, take this pill and your vision will be better. That kind of thing you got to really look at from an ethical point of view and decide, well, do I want to be a part of that or do I don't? This is why I like affiliate programs that deal with training, right? It's yes, you can be an affiliate program that sells the affiliate program, but at the same time, it's a program that gives valuable training that people can go out and actually use to create profit centers if they want to. But if you're just pushing some magic diet pill because the affiliate program has a huge payout, it's incredibly unrewarding, both personally and financially, because eventually that stuff's just going to get smacked maybe from the wrong people, the federal people, and you don't want to be a
Right,
part of that. So
right.
I think I always deal with what I call the unsexy stuff. I would rather
Mm,
go with boring stuff that has longevity that I can build a lot of tiny profit centers along the way, and then it all adds up to something because it
Oh,
almost isn't the product. I don't want to say that because it is, the product's important, but it's learning the methods. And again, it's building that list. And if I had something that I felt was going to genuinely help the people on my list, I can email it to them. And every time I send an email, like I got this one business, it's a private label business I started in 2010.
okay.
And that's almost an eight-figure business. And it's almost all generated with email. I'm selling
Man,
a brand of a physical product that's my brand. But every
yep.
time I send an email out, it rains money from the sky. It's that email list is just so important because you
Yeah.
know, we think differently than our customers think. They're not like walking around every day, "Oh, I really should go to Todd's website and buy something again." But that's not what they're doing, right? They're living their lives. So then they get the
Right.
email and they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. I did want to go do that." And it's just a gentle reminder, and this is why we like sending out the emails. But affiliate marketing is going to do nothing but get better and better as people look for opportunities to pivot out of maybe their full time job into something else online. I think it's a
Yep.
lot. You can create your own products, you can promote your own stuff, but I think even if you do that, you still have to put your feet into the affiliate marketing world and be a part of that because you can make so much money. Why would you want to leave that on the table? So my goal, moving forward, is I'm going to sell a couple of my larger businesses that like actually have employees and warehouses and things like that. Be selling those in the near future, and then
Mhm.
my retirement's going to be 100% content creation. Building
Cool.
out the YouTube channel, writing, continuing to write articles and create blog. Authority blog sites, right? Doing podcasts, my own, and being
Mm.
a guest on others, and just content creation, because that's what I really like doing. And the amount of money that you can make putting out content related, that's sponsored by something, right? Or has enough, like on my podcast, if there's a tool, let's say I'm going to do an episode and it has to do with making money on Amazon, and there's this one piece of software that has an affiliate program, all of a sudden your podcast is sponsored by this tool,
Yep.
and go to this special link. I got you a special $50 discount and an extra 2 weeks free trial using this link, and yada yada yada. I mean, there's
Yep.
just so many ways to make money. But I think the creating the content is what I like doing the most. And that just fits like hand in a glove with affiliate marketing.
It does, and especially I feel like the more that people look for it, the more you see it. When you become when I became aware, and even more recently, from the time where I was 2008 to 2022 now, it's everywhere, and the more I'm looking for it and the more people become aware of it, it's like, wow, yeah, everywhere referral-based marketing is everywhere. Even in Shopify recently in an e-commerce store, I was logged in and I was helping my friend, and he got like 2 different alerts that were, like, somehow pushed by Spotify to download, an affiliate app that would allow people to sign up as affiliates for a Shopify store. And, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, this thing it's absolutely everywhere. I have no idea how, the developers of that app got in front of Shopify like that, but
That's
people are
pretty
just
cool.
starting to see at that mass level like, wow, $0 on marketing spend, and you can have an army of affiliates who love your stuff, love your brand. They became a customer and they loved their experience, and now they wanna tell their friends about it and make a little bit of money. It's yeah, it's just crazy. Um, for people who are newer, who are just getting started online, who are just getting going, I'll give you the final word and then we'll wrap up. What would you say to somebody who's newer without much education, without much knowledge about the online space, and they're starting the 15-day challenge, or they're starting their TikTok channel, or they're starting to figure the online space out and become an affiliate marketer or a course creator? What would you tell that person?
I think they have to do what I call, you have to do it the right way. This is a real business, right? A lot of people they don't treat it that way. There's like, I'm going to give this thing a try and this that. I think you really need to get serious. form an entity, have a real entity with a real entity bank account, get the right education. And if, and
Mm,
I hear this every now and then. Oh, well, that education's expensive. And these other people go out and spend $300 on dinner or take a $5,000 vacation to Florida or whatever, but they won't spend a couple $1,000s to get the information that they need to do it the right way. Then you
mm,
get with a community of like-minded people. So you've got your, and I love how you use the word blueprint because I use it all the time. You're going to have the blueprint on exactly what to do, surrounding yourself with like-minded people that are not only trying to do the same thing, but people that have actually done it, that are going to be willing to answer questions for you. And then you have to employ the resiliency to get around any problem and avoid the shiny object syndrome and just commit and set your goals and reach your goals and have somebody give you accountability so that you have no excuses and then just move forward no matter what, and don't give up because it's worth it. It is so worth it that you don't have to depend on anybody, for providing for your family or achieving your goals or paying off your house or whatever it is. You're going to win this game of life, and that's really kind of how I look at it. And you win the game by having the best strategy. You get that from learning the best tools and the best mindset and implementing these things. And the next thing you know, wow, people are going to start calling you lucky, and everything you touch turns to gold. So, but you'll know it was the hard work you put in and the fact that you didn't give up.
oof. I love it. Super. Yeah. I can't say it better, so I won't. So where's the best place for people to find you, Todd? Where would you prefer people to go follow you? Is that on TikTok?
Oh,
YouTube?
my best video on TikTok is me struggling to get out of a beanbag chair right now. um,
What,
you know,
if we could point someone somewhere, where should we send
yes,
them?
I think if you go to my website, my personal site at toddsnively.com, or just friend me
Cool.
on Facebook, friend me
Cool.
on Facebook. And, you'll be able to, especially my Facebook. I don't, My personal Facebook is really my business Facebook. I talk a lot of
Sure.
business on my personal Facebook. And if my friends don't like it, they can just keep scrolling. But
Yeah.
I like Facebook for that kind of, meeting people and that kind of thing. But yeah, that or my website. I have a little, if they want to just sign up for, the next great thing that I'm going to be talking about, they can do that too. But Facebook's generally the best place. Just friend me on Facebook.
Cool. I love it. I'm gonna put up your website here on the screen, and thanks for everything today, Todd. And yeah, guys, go sign up for his email list. He talked a lot about the importance of having lists. Go subscribe to his email list, open his emails, read his emails. He's been doing this for a long time. So if you want some real wisdom, and then also go find him on Facebook, as he said. Just add him as a friend and follow along as he creates awesome stuff. And yeah, thanks so much, Todd. Thanks for coming on the
Um,
show. Really
it was
appreciate it.
my privilege. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we've got Todd's website up here. It's toddsnively.com. If you're on a podcast just listening, it's toddsnively.com. You can find him there. You can also just search Todd Snively on Facebook. It's actually facebook.com/Todd.Snively. And you can find him there. Just add him as a friend. Let him know you found him through the Wake Up Legendary show. Let him know if something in particular was really powerful or enlivening. And as always, we're here every single day, Monday through Friday. Dave will be back Thursday and Friday of this week to help us close out the week. And as always, guys, be legendary. See you. Have a